My girlfriend won't even undress me even though I do stuff to her all the time. Is this breakup worthy? So I'm super down and depressed about this and kinda at a loss for what to do. And maybe I'm even the bad guy here. I'd kinda need advice. My girlfriend and I are both female and 21 years old, and we've been together for 9+ months. In January of last year, we agreed to be FWBs, but it was literally me doing stuff to her a few times and I just assumed she wasn't ready or too shy to return the favor, and I lean pretty dominant, so I didn't mind. COVID hit and we couldn't do much obviously, but then we got together over the summer and realized we had feelings for each other and decided to date. This made having sex a little more of a priority, but once again, it was just me doing stuff to her while I was fully dressed. I would feel shitty after it, like I was just used for something, but I chalked it up to her being scared to do anything because we weren't living together and sexy stuff was a high-risk activity. I talked to her about it because I was so down, and she assured me that she was just paranoid about getting caught and working through some anxiety about not being good enough and disappointing me. It was a good conversation and I thought we were good because I told her I wouldn't care, I'd just be happy she was trying. Then we moved in together. We've known each other for years, and I was ready for it the first night we did stuff, but nothing. She didn't even try. I was visibly pissed off about it and thought maybe she isn't even attracted to me, but she was apologetic and said she's dealing with some mental health issues and her libido is lower than mine, but that of course she's attracted to me. So after 3 months of this pattern and fighting over it, I finally told her I was considering it a deal breaker because I felt so used and shitty every time I fucked her. I mean, who uses a strap-on fully clothed? She doesn't even grope me. It's such an uncomfortable dynamic. She started crying and saying she thinks she has this and that mental disorder, which I once again totally understand. I have several myself and I'm in therapy and medicated. I told her I wanted her to see a therapist not just because of sex but because it would improve everything in her life, and she told me she would. I asked if there was anything I could do to help her feel safe and comfortable and that we would take it super slow, and she said that sounded good, and if she could get her parents out of the house on New Year's Eve she'd be okay with trying then. She hasn't done anything to help her mental health. She didn't even try anything on New Year's, and when I brought it up she pretty much said she was okay with me seeing other people for sex even though it wouldn't thrill her. She wanted me to be happy. So I said I'm guessing I should just lose help of us having sex together for a while, and she didn't say yes but she didn't say no. I'm just crushed. I felt used before we were dating and I feel like I'm single even though I have a girlfriend because my own partner won't touch me. Maybe this is dramatic but it just blows. I don't know what to do anymore. If I'm being selfish about wanting sex I'll accept that too. Thanks guys. Smile. Too long didn't read. My girlfriend and I, both F21, have been together for 9-ish months and I do sexual stuff to her a lot but she hasn't even seen me naked. When we fight about it she just says she has mental illness and low libido but she doesn't do anything to help herself and I feel used. What do I do about this? Please don't continue to be used by this person. She is absolutely using you, and nothing about this is healthy for you. You don't owe anything to anyone who treats you like this. Yeah, I don't understand supposedly having a low libido but letting you fuck her. I have low libido and if I'm not in the mood there's no way I want to engage in anything past making out because it just doesn't feel good or comfortable for me at all. BC, I'm not turned on. In any case you're unhappy and you don't seem compatible. You don't need to stay in the relationship, right? A person with a low to non-existent libido wouldn't be into getting fucked, but could, out of care for their partner if nothing else, at least grope her a little bit. This one just turns on the waterworks anytime her partner mentions their own needs. You are sexually incompatible and that's reason enough to break up. Honestly, I'm surprised you've stayed with her this long. As a friend with benefits you aren't getting any benefits and she doesn't seem to be sexually attracted to you. Lots of gay women have tried to fake it till they made it, and it never really works. Sometimes straight women try to fake it till they make it, but it doesn't work that way either. In this case your girlfriend doesn't even seem to be romantically attracted to you, so it's really a case of her stringing you along because she's either too selfish or cowardly to cut you free and you deluding yourself that this relationship can work if you just try harder. Mew dating a pillow princess lol. I think she clearly has some issues with her own sexuality, and living with her mom is not helping that. She sounds scared and too insecure to be herself, and probably isn't letting herself fully enjoy or be a good partner to you. You have given her chances, and from here on out her issues are really not your problem at this point. I think if you are feeling this way, it's time to move on. It's not going to get better, and you have already tried to talk to her about the issues you are having with her not showing she has any interest in pleasuring you. It would make anyone feel unwanted. Like, do you ever get off SMH? It def start arranging to move out and call this relationship done. You tried and learned some things along the way, and hopefully you can use this to deflect any future relationships that fall down this same pattern. I promise, you will be able to find someone that enjoys pleasuring you as much as you them. It's not normal for things to be this one-sided. She's exploring her sexuality and using you to determine where she falls on the spectrum. I suspect she'll claim she's straight soon and deny ever being gay because she didn't do anything sexual to you. Vacation with my 25 meters, GF 28F, is stressful at times. Is this normal? We have fun together most of the time, doing things like eating, being at the beach, or doing fun activities, but things can take a turn very quickly, especially once alcohol is involved. Just now we were at a bar on the beach, and after having 2 drinks each I was getting cold since we were in day clothes and the sun had set an hour prior. I wanted to go home and change, but she wanted to order another drink. We eventually got an Uber home, and now she says she's hungry, but I'm not that hungry since we had a pretty big lunch 4 hours ago. Food is a thing that causes tension between us somewhat often. Sometimes my girlfriend gets hungrier than me and wants to eat out or make dinner when I'm still not ready to eat. I tell her she can make her own food since we're staying at an Airbnb, or order something, but she says she doesn't want to do that. I don't know what to do. This is really frustrating for me. Anyone have any advice? Too long didn't read. My GF and I are not on the same page on what we want to do on vacation. I think if one person is hungry, then that person should decide when food gets eaten, especially if it will take time to order it, go pick it up, cook it, whatever. It's a lot easier to eat a bit when you aren't hungry than it is to hold out when you're starving. You're asking a lot of her to be patient when she's hungry and probably tired from traveling. Try making a plan for the day ahead of time, with meals planned out in advance. It doesn't have to be a rigid schedule, but having these decisions made ahead of time means less discussions about it. I empathize with your girlfriend. Travel can bring out the worst in me, especially if I'm hungry, tired, or stressed. Make sure you have downtime and always pack or buy plenty of heavy snacks you can pull out at any time. For me, I like fresh fruit, beef jerky, granola bars, and peanut butter. I can make a small meal, or I can just have a quick bite and a cup of coffee and I'm good. Have a small snack in your day bag every day. Better to have it and not need it, than need it and not have it. Also make sure you're drinking plenty of water, especially if you're drinking alcohol. Dehydration can lead to headaches and irritability. Also, compromise with her. If she's hungry, order something small. Share an appetizer. It's her vacation and she should be able to enjoy it. I've found that being extra accommodating during a vacation can make the whole trip more pleasant for everyone. My ex used to say, "I will eat your fries," and he was only wanting like 4 to 5 fries because he was not hungry, and I would eat all of it, but it was perfect. I can't eat alone, like your GF. Food shouldn't be a tension, so try to find a compromise like this. Just tell her that you're not very hungry and will eat something with her. I do the same thing. She's worried that by eating without you you'll think she's being a pig or you'll judge her weight. It's a subconscious thing a lot of women do. On any trip, my so and I pick up some snacks first thing to avoid either of us pushing the other to eat a meal when they don't want to. It doesn't have to be straight junk food. If a fridge is available, you have lots of options. 25 UF and 25 UM, break up over religious differences, Jewish and non-Jewish. Hi everyone. I just wanted to say that this page and r/Judaism have been really helpful for me over the past few weeks since my boyfriend broke up with me. He's a conservative Jewish man, and I'm a Christian woman, both 25. We dated for 4 to 5 months and they were truly the greatest months ever, for both of us. We met on an app, and when he liked me despite my profile stating that my religion is Christianity, I assumed religion must not be a deal breaker for him. On top of this, we spoke very early on about religion and how we were both okay dating someone outside of our faith. We also told both of our families almost immediately, and both families were completely supportive. He assured me neither he nor his family would have any expectation of me ever converting, even if things got really serious. About 3.5 months in, we had our first really difficult conversation about religion when I mentioned my mom had said I still care about your salvation to me when I told her I wouldn't ever have to convert. I thought this would be expected, I'm Christian, and he know my parents are regular churchgoers. Instead, it freaked him out. We had a long conversation about how he wants to raise his kids Jewish and what this means to him. And honestly, it was a lot. For someone who has never done any of these things. Shabbat every Friday, religious school, synagogue, summer camp, wanting us to meet with a rabbi and learn about Judaism together. When I asked if he would be okay, then, learning about Christianity together, it was clear that made him really uncomfortable and hesitant. When I mentioned the kids maybe going to church camp, too, that also didn't sit right with him. It was clear it would not be a 50-50 household, probably not even 80-20. It seemed like every day would be Jewish except for Christmas and Easter, which he said he would go to church for. A couple weeks ago we talked about this again. It turned out he had spoken to his parents about our first conversation and he referenced a couple from his conservative synagogue that was interfaith, which I think he had kind of been looking to as evidence that this could work, and that we could be just fine. The wife was Christian, and the family would all celebrate Christmas. His parents then informed him that, in fact, the wife had converted. While they still celebrated Christmas, perhaps on a secular level, she had converted to Judaism a long time ago. We talked again about all the things he would want to raise his kids with, and I agreed to doing all the Jewish things, but that I would not convert. He ended up breaking up with me over the phone that night, saying that he really needs his kids to feel completely Jewish and grow up in a conservative Jewish synagogue. And with me not being Jewish, I would never really get to be 100% involved there and would always be excluded from some things. And that he wants to be able to grow in his faith with time, and he doesn't want to be alone in that. This was his first relationship ever, so I guess he'd never had to think this through and realize all the things he needs. A lot for someone who isn't Jewish. While it may not be converting to him, I think all the things I was already willing to do would have looked a lot like converting to my Christian family. I felt like I was offering a lot, but there was little to no room for him to compromise. It's been really hard on both of us. But reading posts here about people who were together for 4, 6, 8, even 10 years and then broke up because of this very reason makes me glad we talked about this stuff so early. I know that it was the right thing to do, and I am not angry at him. The truth is this likely would have really complicated our relationship over time. While I haven't been super into my faith the past couple of years, perhaps it's something that I will find myself growing in again. I kind of hope so now, if for no other reason than to make this breakup worthwhile. And if that were to happen, I probably wouldn't be okay with the very unequal ratio of Judaism/Christianity in our home that I, likely blinded by early love, thought I would be okay with. Post this because it's still really hard, especially since I can't seem to stop dreaming about him at night, and welcome any advice on getting through this. Having a hard time feeling like I'll ever connect so amazingly with anyone else. He's really an incredible guy, and dealing with everything going from perfect to over so suddenly due to something that can't be changed. I also post this to hopefully encourage people to have these conversations early on if possible. Envisioning that your household and kids would be 50-50 because you, as a couple, are 50-50, may not be what your partner is envisioning. Having the conversation early will still be hard, but I know we've spared ourselves a much bigger heartbreak down the road. Sorry this is so long. I think it was also just therapeutic to write this out, so thank you. Wishing everyone a very happy new year. At least I can just lump this breakup into 2020 with all the terrible things that happened this year. Too long didn't read, broke up over religious differences, spoke about them early, advice on getting over this please and your thoughts in general, would recommend having these conversations early if relevant.